So we are in the week 3 independent project, chapter 4, 4-4. I'm going to pause here for a few minutes just to see if anybody joins me. I usually have quite a few people here. All right, and I forgot earlier to share my desktop. Let me make sure I do that. And I do want to go back and point out that on here there is a resource file that you want to download as well as the start file, so make sure you get both of those as you get ready to get started. And at that point, we have number 1 done. And my next task is to import that resource file and load it to begin in cell A4. And the text file is tab delimited. And I did this. Now I gotta go, and then I gotta try to remember how I did it. Insert, or was it not? No, it's on data. That's what took me so long, because it was on data. And I don't think that's where it's at. Nope, here it is. Get data. Upper left-hand corner, and we're coming from a file. It's a text file. Then it takes me to where I can look for my file. Now, since I'm working out here, I want to make sure I'm on my local drive, and it shows me I am. I'm in my users faculty downloads folder. So I'll pull in this text file. And hopefully it comes up to ask me some questions. Yes, I'm going to pause here for a second. All right. So if we just hit enter on here, it's going to insert it on a new sheet. So I want to hit the load drop down and load to. And I want to load this into the existing worksheet. And since I clicked in cell A4, it figured that's where I wanted it. And okay. And there's my data. Format the cells, format the values in column H as currency with no decimal places. You have increase and decrease decimal places, and just the general drop down currency. Click in cell G4 and use the auto filter arrow to sort by date, oldest to newest. Click cell F4 and use the auto filter arrow. To sort by product, service, name in ascending order. Filter the date column to show only contracts for September using the All Dates in Period option. Okay, I found this somewhere. Wish my recall was faster, but give me 1 second, I'll find out where I found it. That is not what I'm looking for. So I hit the date button, date filters, all dates in period, September. Okay, so that gives us only the records from September. Edit the label in cell A2 to display contract amount. For September and get rid of through December. Okay, select A1 to H2. Make it a 20-point font. And on the alignment tab, under horizontal, center across selection. Ooh. Somehow I skipped this, so I got to go back to 8. Well, no, I did that. I didn't do the control 1. I did miss that part. So if I highlight it and hit control 1, it brings up the same format cells box that I got to from hitting the quick launcher. And we chose center across selection. Somehow I read the next one first and did the 20-point font first. And my queries and connections pane is closed. And I'm on to number 10, and this kind of tells us this is exactly what our data should look like as of now. And we'll copy the contract sheet to the end and name the copy data. So to copy, I right-click on the tab, move or copy, create a copy, and move it to the end. Double-click here and call it data. Okay, make sure you're on the data tab and clear the data filter. I guess I'm gonna have to start doing these a couple of times because I can't remember. I'll find these things and then I can't remember where I found them at. That is not what I want to do. Sort and filter. There we go. Select the data and then clear the filters. Okay, come on, play nice. Oh, I did that wrong, sorry. I was supposed to clear the date filter, not the data filter. So we'll go just to the date column and clear filter from date. I'm glad I reread that. I think we end up with the same data. But there was something in product and service we had filtered out as well. All right, so now we're good and back on track. Sorry about that. Just hit undo. And it undoes the last thing you did. Now we're in A5 and we're going to click the pivot table button from the insert tab in the tables group. The data is identified as the Eller software text file. And I guess I'll send it to yeah, okay, verify that new worksheet is selected. And deselect, add this data to the data model. So we want this one checked and this one unchecked. Okay, they want us to name that sheet. Pivot table, all one word. Close the queries and connections pane. show the product, service, and contract fields in the pivot table. So we'll go to show. Why is it not coming up? There we go. Show field list. And we'll click product service and scroll down and pick contract. All right, number 16, drag the contract field from the choose fields to add to report area below the sum of contract fields and the values area so that it appears twice in the report layout and the pane. All right, so what that is telling me to do is click on this and drag it down here. Come on, it didn't go. Click on this, and I'm going to drag it down here and drop it. Click cell C4 and field settings. Okay, active field, yes, there. So I'm on the Analyze tab, active field, group, and I want field settings. So here we're going to type average contract. And we don't want count, we want average. And then we're going to go to the number format and set it to currency and dial down our decimal places to 0. Uh-oh. C4, click the, come on, field settings, average, okay, let me try it again one time. My field settings, it's not named right, so maybe I didn't do it right. Average contract, average, my number format's currency, 0, okay. That did not happen before, not sure why it's happening now. And I may end up pausing and starting over because I'm not seeing what I did wrong here. That should not be coming out divisible by 0. It should be coming out looking like this. One second, let me try this and see if I can see where the difference is. Total contracts, average contracts. Is that different? It's not sum, it's total. Why would that be different? Okay, anyway, let me see if I can change this. This should not be. Okay. What I'm going to do, give me 1 second. I'm going to go back for a minute to here, because that's, it's pulling some. Maybe I did that wrong when I created my table. I think I did. So I'm going to go back here, because here's where I was telling it product and service and contract. All right, and still give me some here instead of total. But I don't see why unless I did it wrong. Oh, they had me rename it there. That's why. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. I'm not sure what I did wrong there or if I did anything wrong, because I know how it should be going and it's not looking like it should. So I wanted to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, drag the contract field. Sum of contract field. It appears twice on the report and the layout. All right, so that's what I think I did wrong. I drug product and service down there instead of contract. There we go. Yeah, so right now these two columns should look the same. All right, now I'm here. Select cell C4. And once you're in C4, we'll go to the Analyze tab, Active Field, Field Settings. All right, now here, instead of sum of contract, we want average contract. Take off the 2. We want average as the calculation. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that fast. It was giving me a hard time, so I'm going back just to make sure. Yeah, average of contract, average, and then I want the number format to be currency and dial down the decimal places. So not average of contract, average contract, and yes, it matters because I spelled contract wrong and they took a point off. Or no, it was supposed to be 5% and I did %5 and it was wrong. So yeah, every little bit matters. They'll take off points. Okay. Now we're here and this is looking good. All right, now we're going into B4. And I guess they're skipping a step there, and I didn't even realize it yesterday when I did it. Go into field settings and make its custom name total contracts. And that's why my other one says total contracts instead of sum contracts. And we got the number format to currency with 0 decimal places. All right. Number 19, apply brown pivot style dark 3. No, I'm on design, pivot table styles. Brown, pivot style dark 3. And this one took me a minute. I think we have to scroll down. It's in the dark. That's yellow. It's, I did this yesterday, I remember, because that looks more brown than this looks. So under the dark category, the third one over is brown pivot style dark 3. Select the datasheet tab and copy cells A1 and A2. Okay, so we're going to the data tab and scroll up to A1 and A2. I am kind of confused. Oh, okay. So we'll copy that and bring it over to the pivot table, and we'll paste it here. And then we'll align left. And go to a 16-point font. We're going to change this to contract amount. We're actually changing it back to what it was. Contract amounts, comma, September through December. Copy the data sheet to the end and name the copy subtotals. Okay, so copy the data sheet. So I click on the data sheet and right click, move or copy. Create a copy to the end. And then I'm going to call it subtotals. And that's what your pivot table should look like. And now we're on to subtotals on D5. And sort by city, A to Z. Select cell A5 and convert the table to a range. Give me a second. Oh, come on. It's a big button on the side somewhere, and now I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Doesn't look that big now. I'm on the Design tab, Convert to Range. This will permanently move the query definition from the sheet and convert the table to a normal range. Okay. That's actually what they're telling me to do. Why aren't you playing nice today? Select cells A5 to H31. That's pretty much all the data. Go to the Home tab under the Font group, and we want No Fill. use the subtotals command to show a sum for the contract amounts for each city. So I'm going to click on the city, go to formulas, and I want that's not where they had me do that. Hang on. Sorry. Yeah, and there's more than one way to do things, and that's not what they were wanting me to do. I think it's here. And I'm not seeing it. There it is. Okay. Subtotal on the data tab, far right, subtotal. And then at each change in city, I think that's it. I can't go back to look at the directions. Okay, so here is where they're actually talking about groups. You'll see how I can collapse each of these groups within here now. I can also then re-expand each of those groups. Edit the cell, edit the label in cell A2 to display contract amounts by city. And you have to click back in A2, even though that doesn't look like where the data's at, you have to click in A2 to get to the data. Format the sheet to the landscape orientation. Well, let's go here and we can do it all at once. Landscape. Center the page vertically. And scale it to fit one page. I think that's back on the first one. Fit to one page. All right. Click the billable hours tab. Select cell A4. Click the Format as Table button on the Home tab, Styles group. We want orange style medium 10. once we click on OK, it then says, do you want to convert the selection to the table and remove all external connections? Yes. And cell E4, type 5%, add, oops, on. Click in E5, and we need a formula to multiply D5 by 105%. So equals, and you can either type it in or select it. And then asterisk to multiply, and then 105%. Hit enter, and it automatically copies the formula down. Select cells A1 and A2 and left align them. Then select cells A1 to E2. Click the alignment launcher and center across selection. That's under horizontal. So that's why it'll look like it's over here in these cells, but you have to click in this cell to actually edit the text. Use the auto filter arrows to sort the date, oldest to newest. Save your workbook. Now this is where I tend to do a save as, and I like to put it in my current week's folder. So when I get ready to upload it, I know exactly where it is. I can close that out. I can close out Citrix. That was my other one. So now I'll come back up to the top of my instructions page and upload the file. Now I know exactly where that file is that I want to submit. Oh, it is in documents. So, okay. And I'll put it in week 3, and I'll check the date and time. And open. Oh, I didn't click on it. Submit the file. And I must have spelled something wrong. F1 says it's named a total contracts. So if I click on this is actually good. So now I can show you. Apparently I missed the number format on one of those. so it really didn't like it. And only allows to half a point, which is not too bad, but it's telling me here that all those cells didn't have the right number format. If you have any questions, please feel free to call, email, text, get in touch with me, make sure I can assist you in doing well in the course.